Okay, you guys, so I wanted to make a video just talking about what is a women's health nurse practitioner, why I decided women's health nurse practitioner over being a family nurse practitioner. I've had a couple people reach out to me asking, like, what is a women's health nurse practitioner? Shouldn't you become family nurse practitioner? You can practice in women's health, but you'll be more marketable. So I'm answering all of those questions in this video. So first things first, let's start off with what is a women's health nurse practitioner. So a women's health nurse practitioner is a nurse practitioner who focuses on offering primary care services to women of all ages. So a women health nurse practitioners focus on reproductive obstetrics, which means pregnancy, gynecological health as well. So the difference between a women's health nurse practitioner and a certified midwife is that midwives are able to deliver babies. Women's health nurse practitioners are not able to deliver babies. So I know a lot of people have a tough time deciding whether they want to do women's health nurse practitioner or become a certified midwife. I know some schools offer dual programs in both becoming a certified midwife and a women's health nurse practitioner. But if you know you do not want to catch babies, but you know you want to work with women and dealing with women's health, then I would recommend becoming a women's health nurse practitioner. I knew I did not want to catch babies. That's why I'm not a labor and delivery nurse. I am a mother baby nurse, so get the baby out and then I can go from there. But I had no interest in delivering babies. So that's one of the reasons why I chose to become a women's health nurse practitioner. Women's health nurse practitioners, they can work in a variety of settings. You can work in a hospital, you can work in like physician offices, at the health department, you can work in like school and college health clinics. Now, women's health nurse practitioners are allowed to take care of pregnant patients, but it's up until the patient gets to a certain amount of weeks during their pregnancy. Then their care transitions over to either a doctor. The type of services that women's health nurse practitioners provide include like preconception health care, prenatal and postpartum care, family planning services, management of sexually transmitted diseases, well women care like checkups, care during perimenopause and menopause, as well as caring for women experiencing acute or chronic conditions. Women health nurse practitioners are also able to practice in a variety of like subspecialty clinics, like some clinics dealing with infertility, oncology, urogynecology. So I decided I wanted to do women's health nurse practitioner because I had no interest in the family nurse practitioner route. I knew I specifically wanted to take care of women. Family nurse practitioner, you get a generalized education so you can take care of everybody across the lifespan, from babies to like children to men and everything like that. But I knew I wanted my education to specifically focus on women's health and the care of women. And there are some people who practice women's health who went the family nurse practitioner route, which you can definitely do that. I just know I wanted my education to specifically focus on women's health. And I didn't want to learn, I only wanted to learn about how to take care of women. There are some people who are concerned that if they decide to go back and get and become a women's health nurse practitioner, that they won't be as marketable as an FNP. But I've googled like women's health nurse practitioner jobs, and there are a ton of jobs that pop up, but you might have to relocate to an area, which I'm willing to do. Like, if you ever get bored one day, just type in women's health nurse practitioner jobs. There are jobs for women's health nurse practitioners out there. It might not be as many as FNPs, but there are women health nurse practitioner jobs out there. You just have to trust God and ask him which path you should follow if you're trying to decide between women's health nurse practitioner and becoming a FNP. and you just have to trust that, you know, he'll help you. He'll provide a job for you, you know, whichever route you decide to go. I've gotten questions from people who say, do I need B or like obstetric experience as a registered nurse to become a women's health nurse practitioner? It really depends on the program. I've heard of, you know, nurses who might have done like med surg or something not related to OB, and they still been able to get into women's health nurse practitioner programs. I've done mother baby nursing all my nursing career, so I do feel like that probably influenced me getting accepted into the nurse practitioner programs, but it just really depends on the program. Some programs might require you to have OB experience. Both of the programs I applied to, OB experience wasn't necessarily a requirement. I was able to talk about my experiences as a mother baby nurse, you know, in my personal statement and everything, and you know, that probably played a part in me getting admitted. Even though I only talk about Vanderbilt and Emory, my acceptance into those programs, I did get accepted into Texas Women's University in Dallas. I don't know much about their program. I actually wasn't able to attend their like admitted students day. I was actually in Nashville visiting Vanderbilt, and I really don't know much about their program, so I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna, you know, not worry about that program. A nurse practitioner who I follow on Instagram, her name is Monica. She wrote an excellent article about, you know, FNP versus women's health nurse practitioner, and she's actually an FNP, but she works in an OBGYN clinic. So I will leave the information to that blog down below. It's very interesting to see the viewpoints from somebody who is a FNP who works in an OBGYN clinic versus someone who's a women's health nurse practitioner and works in an OBGYN clinic. And reading that article like really confirmed, okay, my decision to become a women's health nurse practitioner. I'll say, you know, if you're trying to decide, go with whatever your heart says. So the average salary of a women's health nurse practitioner can range from anywhere from $86,000 to $100,000. It just depends on the location, you know, the area that you're practicing in. Okay, so a few things I forgot to mention. Women's health nurse practitioners, they can take care of men. They can take care of men in the aspect of men who have like reproductive health issues. Women's health nurse practitioners, of course, can prescribe medications. And to become a women's health nurse practitioner, you have to be a registered nurse with a Bachelor of Science degree. And to become a women's health nurse practitioner, you can either have your master's or your doctorate, but the program needs to specifically focus in women's health. So if you're unsure of programs that offer women's health nurse practitioner, always Google. You can just type in women's health nurse practitioner program. Have a specific state where you want to go to school, you can type that in. So like if you want like a women's health nurse practitioner program in Georgia, I want to say that Emory was the only women's health nurse practitioner program in Georgia. I know Georgetown offers it, of course Vanderbilt, Drexel, Frontier, University of South Alabama, University of Alabama, Birmingham, Texas Women's University. Those are a few that I looked into. Right now I'm just content with going back to get my master's. I don't have any plans of going to get my doctorate, but you know, that could change. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed talking to you guys about me becoming a women's health nurse practitioner. You guys stay tuned, because in a few weeks I will announce my choice, whether I've decided between Vanderbilt or Emory. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at prettynurseashley, and I'll probably make a video explaining why I chose one school over the other one. You guys take care. See you in the next video. Bye bye.